Do you find you're going through life constantly tired, going to make your fourth cup of coffee on the day just so you can make it through the next few hours and get your work done on the day? And you find that you need caffeine to really do anything, whether it just be going out, hanging with friends, maybe it's working, or it's just being at home. You just find that you need caffeine to keep you awake and not be tired. There are quite a few different things that can affect the amount of energy that you have throughout the day and whether you're tired or you're not tired. And this could include your diet, making sure that you're getting the proper nutrition in, drinking enough water, exercising enough, and getting up and moving around. And this one's a little bit easier said than done, but actually having something that you look forward to each and every day, something that you enjoy doing, and that's obviously easier said than done, but having something that you actually enjoy going to do and looking forward to on the day gives you much more energy. But I'm not going to talk about those specific areas. I'm going to talk about one that I've really struggled with in the past. I've improved upon it a lot significantly over the years, and I'm still trying to improve upon it going into the future because it's a really important aspect, and that's sleep. Now, a lot of this information may be pretty standard and you already know about it, but it's one thing to know about that information and to actually put it into action. So I'm going to go over some different information that I've personally done that's helped out my sleep quite a bit and building that ritual that's really improved my sleep over the years. And it's one thing to know this information and to put it into action. So you may already know this or some of it or a few of it, or maybe you don't know any of it. And having the advice compared to actually doing it is completely different. Quite a few years back, I was an extremely poor sleeper and I labeled myself as one of the worst sleepers out there. And I decided to wear a Fitbit a few times when I went to sleep to measure how my sleep was. And I can't remember the exact numbers, but I believe it said I tossed and turned somewhere in the hundreds of times throughout the night, which is obviously not good. And then there's also the category of good quality sleep. And I believe it was only around 20 minutes total of good quality sleep throughout the night, which is probably not healthy at all. Compared to now when I've tried it recently, I haven't tried it too recently, but last time I tried it, I remember I was around 6 to 6.5 hours, which is quite a significant increase, and the amount of times that I toss and turn throughout the night has gone down rather significantly as well. And this obviously didn't happen overnight. It took quite a few years to figure out different ways to get to where I'm at today, and I'm still trying to improve upon it, but there's quite a few things that I can pull out and say that this has really helped me out. And we're all different, so some of it may work better for me and some may work better for you, but this is just what's worked for me. And I think creating a bedtime ritual is just extremely beneficial and can help you get to sleep a lot quicker and get your body used to going to sleep at the same time, so it knows when it needs to start shutting down and have a good sleep throughout the night. This is one area that I never really focused on in the past, where I would game all night and it would be so different between the times I would go to sleep. It would be, sometimes it would be midnight, sometimes it would be 1, sometimes it would be 2, sometimes it would be 3, and then I hear my mom's footsteps coming down the stairs and it's like, oh crap, now I'm in trouble. So there's different times that I would go to sleep and it was never really consistent, and it's not at a ideal time that I'm going to sleep. So going to sleep at the same time every night has helped me drastically, and it helps with your circadian rhythm where your body knows what time it needs to go to sleep and start preparing to shut down, and then you're waking up around the same time every single day. So it helps to build that body clock so it knows when to start to shut down and when to wake up. And this has just helped me out quite significantly because my body knows when it's time to be awake and when it's time to be asleep. I know when I first downloaded TikTok, I was extremely addicted to it and I was glued to my phone. When I got into bed, I would just be scrolling on TikTok for I don't know how long. There were some nights that I would be up till 2, 3, and I would just be up all night scrolling through TikTok, and it's an extremely addictive app. And what I've done recently is I'm no longer on my phone or on any device or in front of a TV for that matter before bed, and I think this has helped me out quite significantly. And I also have a nighttime shift on my phone, so what if I do end up going on my phone a little bit later, because I try to go to sleep the same time every night, if I do go to bed a little bit later, it knows to turn on night shift mode if I do end up going to sleep a little bit later. So it takes the blue lights out, but the main goal is to not be on your phone or a laptop or in front of a TV before you go to sleep, because you don't want those blue lights hitting your eyes. And what I've heard from blue lights is that it decreases the amount of melatonin that you produce, and melatonin is basically what helps you sleep. So you want to try and avoid as much blue light as you can before you go to sleep, so you're able to produce that melatonin to help you sleep throughout the night. And this helps put my mind to rest a little bit because it helps with relaxation and I'm not really thinking too hard about anything. It's just reading a book and it's really relaxing for myself just so I can help wind down and get ready for bed. For the most part, I fall asleep pretty quickly, but I never used to always be this way. Before in the past, I would take forever to fall asleep. I'd have to sleep on a certain side or a certain angle in order to fall asleep. And what I've found is whenever I struggle falling asleep, I typically have a nap during the day. What I've noticed is if I'm able to avoid taking a nap throughout the day, I'm able to fall asleep much quicker at nighttime, even if I take a nap, say between 9 and 10. Even if I have a nap that early, I'll still have some trouble falling asleep that night, and then I have to lay on my side because I can fall asleep a lot easier on my side compared to laying on my back. Whereas if I don't have a nap throughout the day, I'm able to fall asleep almost instantly on my back. And I've always envied people that could fall asleep pretty much anywhere and whenever they want. And I'm definitely nowhere close to being able to fall asleep whenever, wherever, however I want. But falling asleep on my back has always been a struggle for me. But when I avoid taking a nap throughout the day, I'm able to fall asleep within probably 5 minutes of laying on my back. And that's one thing that I've really tried to focus on because I've heard that's the best way to sleep at night. So that's been one of my sleep goals, to be able to fall asleep on my back, and I'm pretty much able to do it as long as I don't take a nap throughout the day. Another area you want to be mindful of is your caffeine intake. You want to make sure that you aren't having caffeine too close to the time that you're going to sleep at night, because the amount of caffeine that's still in your system 5 to 7 hours later is still 50%, and 5 to 7 hours after that is still 50% of that. So when it's the middle of the night and you're trying to get that good quality sleep, you still have caffeine inside your system and it keeps your mind racing and you aren't able to get that good quality sleep. So you want to make sure that you try and have your caffeine intake earlier in the day and not too late at night when it's closer to bedtime or when it's too late at night, because that your caffeine's still going to be in your system and it's just going to keep you up at night and you're not going to get as good of quality of sleep as possible compared to if you didn't have caffeine in you or if you just had coffee earlier in the day, say before noon. Another trick that I tried out to try and tell my brain that it's getting close to bedtime is around 6 to 6:30 p.m. every night, I would have a chamomile tea just to start winding down, and my body would maybe realize that, hey, it's getting close to bedtime, because every time we have this drink, we go to sleep in 2 or 3 hours from now. So maybe it starts to wind down, but I'm not sure how the effects happen, but it could be something that you try out where you have something that you try and wind down from. You just say, do this for X amount of hours before you go to sleep. And then it's just a notification to your body and your mind that, hey, we're going to sleep in a few hours. We might want to start winding down and get them ready for bed. The last area doesn't really have anything to do with leading up to go to sleep and getting a good night's sleep. It's actually kind of the opposite, but it might get overlooked quite a bit, is hitting the snooze alarm button. You really don't want to do this because it actually makes you more tired the next time that you wake up from your alarm, because what ends up happening when you do hit the snooze button, you go back to sleep and then you try to get back into a deep sleep state, and what ends up happening is your alarm goes off before you actually get into it and go through the whole stage, and then that actually wakes you up a little bit more groggy than when you were originally waking up. So the last thing you want to do when your alarm goes off is hit the snooze button. Just make sure that you get up right when your alarm goes off, or just don't go back to sleep, because the next time that you wake up, you're going to be even more tired, which is just going to cause a cycle of being tired throughout the day, maybe taking a nap, not sleeping well at night, going back to the alarm, snoozing it again, being tired throughout the day, and it's just going to be an endless cycle of constantly being tired. With creating a good bedtime ritual and getting good quality sleep, you may already know this, but it's one thing from knowing it and actually doing it. One thing that you want to do is actually put it into action and do your best to try and get the best quality sleep that you can, so you can be less tired throughout the day. I hope you're able to get some better quality sleep. I'm still trying to improve upon mine. Let me know what you do to help get better sleep at night, and thanks for watching, and let's level up.